Hello, hi, welcome to a new vlog. This is, I don't know which one of these are going to come out first because I have a bunch of them planned. But basically where I'm taste testing different genres that I haven't read much of yet. The first one I thought of doing this for was fantasy, romance, romantasy. So much so that I was like looking and researching a bunch. This is a whole list of all the ones I want to read. Not in this vlog. I'm going to read, I don't know, like somewhere between 3 and 5, somewhere in that range for each one. I'm just going to do this multiple times, okay? For this one. And then there's also going to be usually just one for other genres as well, right? It's this whole thing that's happening. I don't know. Don't question my brain. Don't question my brain at 2 a.m. because this is when I thought of that, okay? I mean, there's currently 22 on here. Don't need to talk about it. Don't need to talk about it. That's like 6 if we do 2 5s and 4 3s. Anyways, first one for this. I was in the process of reading the first one for the dark romance. And I had like an hour and a half left in my reading. I was gonna finish that and then like today and then start this one today. So like it's not that far ahead. But then library loan was due, so it was returned, which was fine. I already had it again from the library, so I just had to resend it to myself, but I sent it to the wrong Amazon account. So I had to return it again and put it on hold. And I'm crying and I'm fine. I'm fine about this. Which means I can start this book, which is Assistant to the Villain. Which I know some things about. Right. Good thing I get to start this because it is due tomorrow at noon. And I don't know how long it'll take me to get the whole back. I am like 1 page into it. Okay. If I have to tomorrow morning, I do also have the audiobook. The audiobook, there are unlimited copies. There are unlimited copies at my library of the audiobook. So there's like 177-week wait or something like that for the ebook. But for the audiobook, I can do it. So if I have to, I can finish it just with the audiobook, and it's just going to be annoying for this stats stuff. Right, if that makes sense. Anyways, Assistant to the Villain. What I know about it. Should I also talk about what I've read of Romantasy? I haven't read much Romantasy. Other than Fourth Wing this year was a joke to read in January, then rated 5 stars. Okay, we don't need to talk about it. I've read Iron Flame. So there's that, and that's about it for Romantasy. There's like a few like more wide type things. Like, would you count Vampire Academy from my childhood series, right, as Romantasy? Maybe, right? Also, I've been reading a lot of paranormal romance. That's the thing. I haven't read a lot of Romantasy, but I have, and I need to narrow down what I like about what aspects of Romantasy I like, but I have read a lot of paranormal romance, right? Especially recently, going through one series right now, and whatnot. I forgot that in February, I read another Romantasy. I labeled it as fantasy because it was more fantasy than romantasy, right? But it technically was also romantasy. Standalone that I rated 5 stars. It was really good. That one was really good. So I don't know if you count that one as a romantasy. I don't think so. It's not typical what you consider a romantasy. Anyways, Assistant to the Villain follows Evie, who gets the job to be assistant to the villain. A lot of workplace antics happen, and a lot of innuendos, and they have things, a thing for each other. Things to know. This is based off of a TikTok series that the author made forever ago. I remember this. I remember really enjoying it back in the good old days of like initially having TikTok forever ago, like so many years ago. So I have seen a lot of the early TikToks of this, right? So I know the base of it. And when I did see that she got a publishing deal, because I did remember one of the last times I had TikTok, I did remember seeing her talking about wanting to turn it into a book, right? And so seeing that she actually multiple years later got a publishing deal and it exists, like it's on my Kindle right now. I was excited for her, and then the reviews came in, and there's two sides. You either find it so fucking annoying and not well written and despise it, or you just accept it for, is it camp? I don't know, because I haven't read it yet. And just have a good time and move on with your life. I don't know, which is interesting because I don't know which side I'm going to be on, and therefore I don't know if this is actually going to be a new series for me, because a girl's trying not to start too many new series and then look at me here now. Whoops. The other thing is, this technically counts as a workplace romance, and I don't like those. Hilariously, the only one I've ever enjoyed, he was working for the government to do insider information, like stuff, find out secret stuff about the workplace, to make sure that they weren't doing any criminal, because there was like suspicion of that. And so like the fact that he wasn't gonna be working there after a certain amount of time, so it wasn't really, they weren't gonna be co-workers anymore, made it so I liked it. But like otherwise I have never liked co-worker romance, workplace romance. The Hating Game, did not like that one. I stopped that. Has anybody seen that movie? Anyways, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna have hopefully a good time. This is what I'm just gonna be doing for the next like 8 hours. I'm tired, but that's fine. Pray for me. I'll update you at some point. First off, clean the house. There we go. Words, clean the house. My sister's cleaning the house. Sometimes makes this light flicker so you can hear it, and that's a thing. 2, the look. My friend is sick, and it's her normal streaming day, so we're doing a thing where we're just gonna put my face where hers goes. And I decided to be funny. Am I behind schedule? So I'm putting in earrings and updating you. Yes. I decided to be funny and do a whole look, because it's this thing where she wears a lot of chokers, hence why I got out one of my chokers, and then doesn't do a red lip. That's me. That's so me, because I'm gonna put a flannel over this, because flannel and rose, long story. But she comes in with like makeup and a choker and a cute top like halfway through stream after her workout, and so I decided, no, it'd be funny if I started out like that. So here we are with this look. Anyways, Sister to the Villain, that's what I'm reading. Yeah, I get why people don't like it. The writing style is a bit much for me. I am, I think, closer to a third of the way through. I think I'm 27. I was 22 when I went to bed. Also, we gotta have a conversation how this epilogue is 28 pages. That's not an epilogue, that's just chapter 1. Okay? Right, like, I thought well, I guess it wasn't a prologue, because it's chapter 1, I guess. Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, and then when I pulled up the audiobook, it's 40 minutes long for the prologue, not the first chapter, for the prologue. The first chapter is shorter than the prologue. That is how you know you have issues. Thank you very much. Anyways, the writing style is very cutesy, easy. It's giving YA writing style, but like early 2010s YA writing style. But it's a lot of murder and also sexual harassment, and not with the villain, with her previous employment. That's why she left that job. But like it's a lot of that, and like abandonment and death and torture, and bombs are going off and all this other stuff, but also sexual innuendos, including sex dreams. Sex dreams are being talked about. So like technically it could be read by like a 15, 16-year-old, but it's written for like a 13-year-old, right? And so that doesn't blend well. And I get why people don't like it. I am going to dual read the rest of it. I already put my Kindle on airplane mode so I can just finish it, because I don't think I'm going to be highlighting it. We gotta have conversations about some of these highlights people are doing. Oh my god. What? Anyways, I'm just gonna finish it, dual reading it today. Just speed through the rest of it, and then I'm not gonna read the next one. I don't care what the ending is. I'm not gonna read the next one because everything I've seen, people who continue the series, by the point you get to the second book, because this is like 400 pages, right? By the time you get to the second book, it's just annoying, kind of, and not enjoyable to read anymore. That type of writing style, this setup. So I think after book 1, I'll just be done. And move on with my life. At least. Also, I thought I was wrong when I said it was modern setting for the workplace, right? Like modern workplace setup, but like it's got like this whole thing where like women have to wear skirts and dresses, like ye olden times. If a woman wears pants, oh dearie, and stuff like that. And like there's no cars, like people are taking carts and carriages around and horses. But also at the same time, dentists and bombs, like bombs, like actual modern bombs, dentists, the interns, yeah, like stuff like that, like is happening. So it's like the timeline, when does this place? I don't understand that. Anyways, yeah, it's fine. I get it, and I'm running late, so bye. Oh my god, I can take the makeup off now. It's done. The book's done. I'm gonna go take off I already took off the lipstick, obviously, but I'm gonna go take off the makeup. Oh my god, so exciting. The best part about reading this book is now I can take this off. Speaking of book, was the audiobook well done? Not to me. I didn't like the way the audiobook was done, but did it get me through the book? Yeah. And even with that dual reading, I was like almost falling asleep at points. We don't need to talk about it. It was an experience. Oh my god, I feel naked now without my necklaces. Yeah, I was right in when I said the ending, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna want to continue the series. Yeah, even with like her doing her villain arc now and having to save him, I'm just like, I'm fucking bored. The revelation, I like, okay. This book is much darker in the things that it insinuates than you would expect, especially with the writing style being so, I don't want to say juvenile, but like, right? And yeah, that's that. It was a book I read. I mean, it insinuated not only sexual harassment in the workplace, and whatnot, and also like you basically know that her old boss tried to kill her after she turned him down, and a bunch of other stuff. But also you learn like it's heavily insinuated slash basically, that it was like her father sold her to him, not for money, because they didn't need money. He just did it for the hell of it, and he's supposed to be the good guy. Like, it was very clear around the last, like, 10% when the revelation happens. I was like, oh, this is gonna very clearly go. I mean, I was expecting it to go, like, the king is the true villain, and the villain is not really the bad guy. I expected that route, right? But I expected it to be subtler. No, it was, as soon as you figure out who the spy is, on the inside, and is working for the king, secretly, that character does a 180 real fast, so fast, so that they could, be like, see, this is the villain all along, this is what the bad guys do, this is what the bad guys are like, And therefore, clearly, the king is the real bad guy because he allows this to happen. And this is the guy that the king chose to do this job and blah, 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 blah. Right? Right? Also, favorite part, I was just putting Stardew Valley with friends as I was listening along, and I did start laughing when they just, right after the revelation, and they're just, like, both sitting in her house after the fact, and then she trauma dumps her whole entire background to him, and then he trauma dumps his right back at her. I think they're like, oh no. They kissed one time, and he's in love with her. God. There are points where I laughed. Like, it is funny. I still laughed at points. Especially any time it was, kind of a gender aspect, because there was, with the whole entire sexual aspect in the workplace being an aspect throughout this book, and how the villain, does equal pay, imagine, across the, genders at his workplace, and, doesn't do that. Oh my god, imagine! And all this stuff. And so, like, there would be a bunch of gendered X-esque, like, good jokes about how, like, they're lost in the woods, and she's all like, oh yes, because men can't ask for directions. And then he makes a joke based off of that. There's a point where he's knocked out, and they're all in danger at this party, and so she has to get the guards to let them go. And the easiest way to do that is to tell the guards that she's so emotional because she's on her period. And it works. They're all just like, oh no, a woman crying, and also that? Oh no, we can't handle this. We must let them all go. And there were other points with their flirt that was a little funny. Like, their banter was a little funny and cute. And that whole, like, her having to take control because he's passed out, section did make me go a little tee-hee, okay? I was having a good time, right? That being said, yeah, the writing style's not it, fam. I didn't enjoy that enough to continue the series as expected. I was trying to decide between a 2.5 and 3 star, honestly. And I'm going with a 3. I did compile to figure it out. The average was like a 5.7, so it's a solid 3. It's a solid 3, baby. And yeah, that's that. Did I learn anything about this? Here's the thing, because I have some YA ones on the list that I want to do. And, like, if you think about it, my childhood series, you know, every 2010s teenage girl has to have that one series they were obsessed with, and mine was Vampire Academy. That one fantasy series. Mine was Vampire Academy, which, if you think about it, at points could be considered romantasy. Right? So, like, YA romantasy, I think I could enjoy it. But I think the issue is when it leans too far the other way, when the actual story or topic, I don't know. Because I was thinking maybe if it's, like, the story or topics or whatever, that it's talking about are too, adult, and then the writing is too YA, then maybe I don't like it. But, like, I was thinking about Vampire Academy again, and it's definitely got some stuff about, you know, addiction and self-harm and all that, and depression and grief and, you know, all that fun stuff, which we love so much. So, like, right, and there's murder and death in that one all the time. So I don't know. Did we ever learn anything with this one? I don't think so. I think the only thing we learned is good banter doesn't make the book good. It's gotta have... Maybe what I learned is that it has to actually have good plot that I care about, too. I think that's what happened. And we can use, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame as proof, because I was so bored in Iron Flame. So We can use those for proof. That's what we learned. That's what we learned. It's got to actually have plot that also engages me. You can't just be the fantasy aspect. You know what also further proves this point? The Married to Magic series by Elise Kova. Is that who I'm talking about? Dance with the Fae Prince. And then, or Married to the Fae Prince? I don't remember the name of them. The first one I really enjoyed, the second one I did not, and that's because the plot of the second one was so fucking boring. It's because it was a Cinderella was it Cinderella? I thought it was Sleeping Beauty. Maybe it was I don't remember. I think it was Cinderella retelling, and that ain't for me. And I DNF'd that one because of that, because the plot was not it bam, so none of the romance hit the same because I was just bored from the plot. I think we figured it out. We figured it out. That's what we learned from this one. Okay, I'm gonna go wash all this makeup off. This is a needlessly long update. I will talk to you when I read another book for this. I'm trying to think if I have any out from Libby. I do have one out from Libby that I can read for this. I just renewed it, so we'll see when that happens.
Several months later.
I don't know why. It's been so long since I've updated you that that was, I want to say, middle of March. Like, that makes sense, yeah. It is now after my birthday. My birthday was 2 days ago. Since then, I've changed up what shampoo I use and how I do my skincare. What? What? Also, I got this spectacular sweater. I wear it, like, all the time. It's not my fault. It's cold and raining, so I need to wear a sweater. Thank you very much. This just makes me think that I should finally do that Pride and Prejudice retelling vlog that I initially planned to do last year, and just have an excuse to not take this off for like a week. Cause, hear me out. Anyways, book. I'm here to talk about a book because I did start one for this last night. Oh, hi, hello, hi, welcome back. Same day, different sweater that I also got for my birthday. Because Mousy loves me. When I inevitably record in front of the black bookshelf is where I put the handmade present she made me. I'm very excited. Anyways, I finished book. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. I finished book, and that's on top of me doing editing. We love that for me. I'm sorry, it is a fast, easy read. Am I going to continue the series? I don't think so. If I ever decide to continue the series, it's not gonna like be an issue if it's been years, because they're like, maybe they're set in the same universe. I don't think so, but like it follows completely different characters. Like the second one is Persephone Hades retelling. Third one is Red Riding Hood. Fourth one is Little Mermaid Atlantis. So like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if I don't continue the series for a period of time, a long period of time. We've only knocked off 2 on this list. This list has gone longer. There's only space for 4 more. I'm gonna have to make another page for it. But the issue is that these are taken up, so I'm gonna have to do like a completely different page, which is so funny. I love that so much. You know, it's just great. Anyways, I was gonna say something else. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I remember the other thing I was gonna say. My tracker for like the book, my personal tracker, that I read each year it was set up automatically with fancy romance instead of romantasy. And every time I have to label something as romantasy, I want to do, but to go through the process of change it's gonna be fucking annoying. It's like gonna be so annoying because it's alphabetized on everything for all the stats. So I'm gonna have to go through and change the order on everything and make sure that the math is done properly after the fact. And that's just annoying. Anyways, I could just say I rated it 3 stars and leave my review as painfully mediocre. Wildly mediocre. That's what it was. Wildly mediocre. But I won't. I will say more. Again, the writing style didn't bother me. In fact, I recommend the audiobook. The audiobook is well done. There's like one part when they're doing the deed and one of them is moaning, so the narrator just... I don't like reading any scenes in audiobook anyways, because either way, what are your options? Your options are go full force acting it out, or just state the words as they're written out, slash like how they're written out, and then it's just like awkward, which was the way it was. You just went and I went, okay, that's an option. But the grammar mistakes won't be an issue in the audiobook for obvious reasons. And then also, what I did notice like a few more times, it got worse further into the book. That did. But again, I don't knock points off for that, especially since it's indie published, right? That is confirmed. But also, there is definitely like the audiobook version and the ebook, certain words are switched or sentences are moved around, so the orders are slightly different, and like the story is the same, but it's slightly different in a way where I think the issues a lot of people had in the way that tenses are used is better done in the audiobook. Personally, I think is better done. Also, the audiobook narrator's voice is just really nice. So I recommend the audiobook if you want to read it. 3 stars. The ending, like 10%, reminded me so much of Where the Dark Stands Still. And that's how you know I loved that book, because I still remember it so easily. And then it reminded me that somehow, that was a debut. I don't fucking understand. That is one of the first 5 stars I did this year. And then also, the author's second book ever comes out next month. I have the arc of it, and it is Sapphic Vampires. And so it just reminded me I have that and I should totally read it as soon as I can, because that's so my speed. But basically, yeah, it just reminded me of a personally less enjoyable version of that one, which is also weird because the main character, well, the main male character is confirmed bisexual in that one. So hear me out. And also the lore just like makes more sense because it's based off of Polish folklore, so it makes more sense. Feels like actual research was done on that one. This one, it just felt like your typical Beauty and the Beast retelling, but gay and smutty. It was whatever. It was very predictable. I suspected the abuse of his mother, but honestly was not expecting it to like be like, oh yeah, no, it was emotional. Like it was heavily hinted emotional and mental abuse, but like she straight up kills him at one point. We do see her cause physical harm to her own son at one point. So like it wasn't a surprise. Like I expected that to be just like a thing that's never brought up, but like I heavily suspected of. I'm surprised that's not in the content warnings. Like 100%. Also, what was the time? The way time took place in this book was weird. But yeah, it was kind of predictable. The story was itself. But it wasn't like bad. Like I still enjoyed it. 3 stars. I think this is a bad sign if both the ones I rated 3 stars. I believe I rated. It says Into the Villain 3 stars as well. I could look back. Wait, it's somewhere's random in this. What? I read that in the beginning of March. I read that, well, mid-March. I read that mid-March. Whoops. It's been a long time since I've updated you. Anyways, yeah, I also rated that one 3 stars. Feels on par. For my personal enjoyment. Though, that being said, I did enjoy this one more. Also, the audiobook is much better for this one compared to this. Let me tell you. Anyways, I'm gonna move on with my life. I got other things I gotta read before I can read the next one, which is annoying because this is scheduled as my next vlog. So like how timing, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I do have the audiobook of a next one I can do, which is pretty popular. And then this one just maybe 3. I don't know. I don't remember how many I've written down, but I know it's a lot. So I'm expecting like at least 5 episodes of this, possibly more. Can you imagine? I have 23 more written down. So I could do like, yeah, another 4 or 5 depending. Easily. I don't think I have an Ash written down. I didn't see that written down, which it surely should. And I'm 90% sure I own that one. I got it for like 99 cents one day on the Kindle sale. Anyways, that's just a random fun fact. I'm gonna go play Schedule 1. Gotta do my woman in STEM. You know how much science I'm doing? I'm doing research. I'm actually like writing things down to make sure I'm making the right mixtures and whatnot. I'm wild like that. Anyways, I'm gonna go do that. And goodbye. Until I read the next one, which I'm 98% sure is gonna be Divine Rivals, because I have both ebook and audiobook. And I think that's the name of it. I already planned it for the readathon that I'm doing this month. Right? Found a way to fit it into that. And the audiobook is due in like 6 days, so that makes sense for me to do soon. There's like one other book I have to read first, but I can read that whole book tomorrow and then that one Thursday and then edit it Friday. God, kill me. Oh. I come to you the next day, mostly because I think holding a Harvey mug in my potato sweater, sipping wine at 9:37 is so funny. I could have left off this update until tomorrow morning, but I decided not to. Also, my hair looks nice because I just washed it. Yes, I am 7'1". tried that one yet. That is much sweeter than I was expecting. Okay. I think it's a white Zinfandel. Yes, it is. Anyways, same person who got me this sweater. I want to say hoodie. It's not a hoodie. It's my only sweater that's not a hoodie, which is great for when I wash my hair. Bought me this mug and it finally came in today. So I'm sipping wine from it. Cause I'm funny. That's what I've been doing. I didn't read anything today until like 9 p.m. and then I picked up the next book for this vlog. I know I said I was gonna pick up a different book before this one. But then I noticed I could get the audiobook from my other library. So I quickly downloaded the audiobook from that library, went Babbage, and started this one. Because this one's much faster. Much more, like 100 pages shorter. And then plan now is to finish it tomorrow and start the editing process. So lovely. Also, so many books for this vlog from Kindle Unlimited. I think that's why I haven't read anything for this vlog in so long, because most of the books I'm getting from Kindle Unlimited. So because of that, there's no like time frame I need to read them before the book is returned to Libby. This one I am dual listening, so there is the audiobook that's due in 5 days, so that's why I'm reading it right now. But most of them, that's not the panic. So there's no like real time crunch on any of them. So anyways, what is the book I just started? Divine Rivals, which I've seen everywheres. So it seems like a fitting book. Also, I guess this is gonna be the first YA one. It's one of the very few YA ones. Like, most of them are new adult or just straight up adult. Right? Like, even Assistant to the Villain and on some level, Word of Eternal Night were written more for a YA audience, like the writing style was. It still got adult topics. A lot in both of them. Mostly just the I can't do the movement that I do in Lord of Eternal Night, but there's like in-depth topics, more not as in-depth as I'd like them to be, in Assistant to the Villain. That is probably read for new adult, right? At least. But this is like the hilariously, as far as I can remember, only YA one on my list. And so far, the best read. Yeah, I love that for me. I think the moral of me starting this, I can see where I could easily become obsessed. Because I did look at the synopsis after I started it, and her co-worker, Roman, who is like her co-worker enemy, is the love interest, right? So I could see with what their relationship is now, how I could easily really love this. And then also the fact that we see her writing in the book, because she is a journalist, she does writing. She's also writing letters to her brother. Both these have to do with the plot. And so we see her writing in the book, and I do really like that aspect in books, in general. So like, I'm kind of eating it up. I'm kind of having a good time, which is so funny because I was looking at my friends who have read it, because so many have, and the person who I generally go for most of these recommendations, right, rated it 2 stars. I don't know what to say about that. Anyways, this follows Iris, who is freshly-ish 18. There's like a whole thing where the gods were killed forever ago and they were buried across the world, right? And then suddenly 2 of them awoke and now they're at war, and her brother goes off to fight, I think, for Yvonne's side. Jarkon is the one who's like usually attacking people, especially civilians, and then Yvonne manipulates people with music to fight for her, and that's what happened to her brother Forrest, right, who she was really close with. So he has been gone since then and kind of missing. He said that he would write her letters like every day, all this stuff. And she's gotten 0 letters from him. The because of that, their mother is now an alcoholic, lost her job, and because of that, like, her brother was like, promise to me you'll continue to go to school and you'll make the most of it and all this stuff. Because she was really good at school, she liked school, all this stuff, but because of her mother losing her job, she had to quit school and start working at the Gazette, the paper, right? And so she's dealing with all that. Her mother is slowly pawning off all their items for money from alcohol. And she is in competition for a raise with another writer who is Roman. That's her love interest. He comes from big money. Like, made the railroads, big money. Right? And so, like, her first day, she overhears him telling somebody, God, I love this. I love this. I don't know what it is about how Rebecca wrote this specifically, because sometimes it doesn't do it for me in books, but when they overhear somebody say bad things about them, or disparaging things about them, and then bring it up later on, it's just like, oop, oop. Case in point, that one scene at the ball, the first ball in Pride and Prejudice, eat it up. Every time. Anyways, she, first day of meeting, like, within her first hour working there, she overheard him, being all like, I don't have to worry about her stealing my job. She's not good enough to do that. She is a nobody who dropped out of high school. Right? Meanwhile, he went to fancy private school. Right, and so it's like a lot of her circumstances, meaning she's not set up to be able to do this position to her full ability, which her boss is even noticing, and being like, trying to help her out, right? And so because of that, he's kind of like winning this competition, kind of, not really competition, but kind of competition for this promotion, right? And he's all like, it's an equal competition, I should know if you're getting like more help and all this stuff. And the way both her and I were like, sure, Jan, okay. But then she he'll possibly overhears her saying things that could get her fired, right? Which basically boils down to, she glimpsed at the competing paper because it was on the side of the street and stuck to her shoe. How dare she? Right, so she's talking to a coworker about it, and he's all like, what are you talking about? Like, blah, blah, blah. And he's been so worried all day long that she's getting extra help from their boss. And she's like, don't worry about it. Because I'm just a dropout from high school who, there's no way I can steal your job because I'm nothing. Like, quotes what he said those months earlier. Right? And he's just like, what? Anyways, that's what's happening. A thing that I haven't learned where I'm at yet, but is in the synopsis, at night she writes letters to her brother, and she puts them into her wardrobe. She snuck them into her wardrobe because it's like a thing that her grandmother used to do for her, blah, blah, blah. And magic is like a thing everywhere, especially in like buildings, and whatnot, and she generally doesn't like it, but this magic she does. And so it sends the letter somewhere, and she assumes it's sending it to her brother because that's who they're written to, right? And the night previous from where I left off, she sends one in the wardrobe, and a piece of paper comes back just saying, I'm not Forrest. Right? And from the synopsis, I know it's Roman. So it's got the letter writing mixed with like, it's got the like letter writing, but also like the Lower Aspect of the Gods is a little bit similar to This Is How You Lose the Time War. That one, spectacular. But also the workplace aspect reminds me a little bit of the Sweet Pea show, not the book. Not the book. A little bit of the show. That's like one of the first things it reminded me of. Which is so funny because I keep on seeing the cover of the show, poster of the show on my Kindle because I have the book downloaded so I can reread it. Right? And then I'm like, do I rewatch the show too? Because the show was kind of good. The show was, I know it's not the same thing, but it was really good. It was good. So yeah, it reminds me of that, mixed with a little bit of This How You Lose the Time War. But YA, and I'm having a good time. If you can tell from me talking about it for 11 minutes. God damn, why do I do this? Anyways, I'm gonna sip my wine. I got cheesecake. I'm gonna watch some YouTube, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and then I'm gonna wake up, and I'm gonna read the other 9.5, 10 hours of this audiobook. I also have it on ebook. I should know. I think I brought up and do reading it. I have come to you today needing to wash my hair. But it's Friday, so I need to edit this. It's almost 3 o'clock. Anyways, I did fill out the page because I found one on my TBR that I could do, and then my dumbass went, I never added Phantasma. I'm so funny. I didn't drop it, I caught it. Anyways, also, right after saying I think Divine Rivals is the only YA one on this list, Powerless is 2 below it. I'm blind. Anyways, I read Divine Rivals, so this vlog is done. Want to tell you about it. I would like everyone know I started freaking out at the end. So they're together, they're happy, it's wartime, they're in the middle of war, but they're happy. They're happy. And then she thinks, in the middle of an attack, somebody wearing gas mask is him. So she's all like, I should follow him. I should go with him. To then realize it's not him. I did clock who it is, like, 5 sentences before she did, so, you know. Anyways, it's not him. Ignore my protein shake. Things happen. Around that point, around the point where we both, me and Irish clock, bitch, who, you're not her husband, what? Who are you? Who are you? I'm freaking out. I should turn on my camera so people can see me react. And then so I was basically screaming on camera for other people to see, in a Discord call. So I really hope they got enjoyment out of that. Because yeah. First off, I recommend the audiobook. The audiobook's so good. I did immediately get the second one from the library and downloaded the ebook on my Kindle. I did immediately do that. Which is so funny, so funny. I'm kind of mad. But my plan for the series vlog for this month, spoilers for that, for like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, one of those two, is to read series that are on Kindle Unlimited, right? Use my Kindle Unlimited subscription, right? And so I went, it counts for that. It counts for that. So stay tuned for, if you want to see my reaction to that one. I feel like I heard more mixed things about Ruthless Vows. Also, didn't realize it's only a duology. Wild, honestly. Anyways, I did that. I read a book. It was good. You know, in this day and age in which I'm in a slump. The fact that I got up this morning, started reading it, and I did not stop until like 20 minutes ago when I finished the book. I've just been reading it and having a great time. I'm so happy. I am upset because one, I was so close to getting under 900 books on my TBR. I had 900. One of the next books I have to read will bring it down to $8.99, but then I immediately added the next book in the series to my TBR, and Divine Rivals wasn't, because it was never going to be a book I read until I decided to do this video series. If you couldn't tell, I loved it. 4.5 stars, by the way. I loved it. It's book horror approved. So, like, now I'm at 901. So that's annoying. But also, that means I have another book series. Technically, it's only a duology, so it's not that bad. A lot of the ones in the Kindle Unlimited one, I'm on, like, the last book. There's, like, this one. The next one that I know I'm going to read soon. There's another one that I kind of want the audiobook as well, because that's how I read the first one. But that one is just a duology, so that would also be finishing the series. Like, most of these will be actually finishing the series, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just annoying, personally, how that number keeps on going up when I want it to go down. I've been very good about not continuing series after the first book if I'm really not feeling it. Anyways, also I realized that the author is the author of Enchanted Rivers. Is that it? I don't think so. But you know what I'm talking about, probably. Realized that was the same author, and now I should totally read that sooner rather than later. Because the writing style in this, it fed my soul. I loved it. The romance, here's the thing I was worried about. I don't like it when somebody in a romantic pairing hides their identity or something big about the person. The most prominent, I can't remember the name of the actual series, but it's like Dark of the West. Is it Dark of the, and then Storm of the East, and then I think the third one is like Northern something, Southern, blah blah blah. Because it's a trilogy instead of 4 books, it makes no sense title wise. Anyways, I never finished the third book because that was like a main aspect where he kept his letter writing identity, I think it was letters, secret from her, and he figured out who she is in comparison, like who she really is, around halfway book 1. And then he doesn't tell her any of book 2. And I got tired of waiting. Like, you can't be all like, oh, we're in love, but also like a clock that like you also won't tell her, you know, who you are. I'll give Kit this. Kit felt bad every time he had opportunity and didn't do it. And he also literally, he thinks he's dying. He's about to die. And he's like, nah, bitch, I gotta let you know. And then she figures it out afterwards. When he's knocked the fuck out because he's injured. And she's all like, ah, shit. He does feel bad when she confronts him. Also, a big part of her character was trying to deal with the fact that she had feelings for this guy she was writing letters to. Like, they at this point were like saying that they are basically in love with each other, right? But she also has this extreme attraction to Kit, and so she doesn't know how to deal with that in her brain. So when she like realizes they're the same person, she's like, oh, okay. Also, it happened before the 3-quarter mark, so I'll give it points for that. I think the only reason it's not a 5 is because it did take a little bit longer than I'd like it to be done before the 2/3 mark, but I get a lot of the book was just setting up her getting to the war front, and then he wasn't at the war front and she was for a good amount of time, right? And yeah, anyways, it was good. I loved it. I love how the last one I read is the one that hits. That seems on par for me. I gotta go edit this whole thing. I mean, I could just postpone it for Wednesday, but we'll see. Anyways, if it takes me too long to edit, I will do that. Anyways, me ending off vlog. If only I had a Sarah to do it for me. That's a certain joke for very small select people. Anyways, thank you for coming to this vlog. When does the next one of these come out? I did schedule out all of June's like vlog plans and whatnot, and the podcast and whatnot, and I don't think there's another one planned until early August. If I can, no, not August, July. Sorry, early July. I don't think it's planned until July. Let me like double check that. I have the tab open right now. Oh no, I was right. Yeah, no, I was right. Okay, like the first Saturday of July is currently when it's set. If I read enough books for it. Before then, it will be moved up. It's just a matter of me putting a long distance between the two for when I inevitably just like read for everything else except for this, and then I have to scrounge out the last 2 books in 1 week. Whoops, sorry. So stay tuned for that. In the next month, yeah, it should be about 4 weeks from now. So stay tuned for that. Next vlog, I did get brain idea for next vlog. It was gonna be something else, but I realized me reading slip, and also all I want to do is do a bunch of rereads of some favorites, right? Which would also fit for my own book club, so we love that. So I'm just gonna do that for the next vlog, so stay tuned for that. Gaming videos are a thing usually on Wednesdays, unless something happens. This has to be switched with that one. The next one should be me playing Schedule 1, showing off how much work I've done in it. Whoops, is my empire. Thank you very much. Mondays are weekly wrap-ups, shorts, so that's just the thing. Every other Friday, kind of, sometimes we skip one or skip a Friday. I think there's like a whole thing where we do plan to skip a Friday on purpose, because one of the books for June is an arc I have, so I don't want it to go up before the book comes out type thing, right? So the Friday afterwards, that same week it comes out, is when that one's scheduled. So generally every other week, but usually 2 Fridays of the month is the rule right now. That's linked below. Everything's linked below. This is why I need Sarah to do my outros for me, because I just ramble too much. Why am I like this? Anyways, I'm gonna drink my protein shake and my electrolytes. Did I mention I woke up with a migraine? I woke up with a migraine. And I'm gonna go edit this beast. Goodbye. We are very happy that this ended on a high note. I don't know what to do now. Like, I know I'm planning to read books I love next, but like, what do I do? Right?